Hey there, it's Tresa. I am making crabapple jam. So I want to show you. I have these crab apples. We went apple picking. I went with my family last week and I got a bunch of crab apples. So I'm going to make crabapple jam. So I am starting by just chopping them up into small pieces. Kind of like this. I'll show you. Nice and small, and I'm going to throw them into a pot, and I'm going to add some sugar and some other ingredients, but I wanted to say hello and let you know what I'm doing. And I'm going to get started on all these crab apples that I have to chop up, and then I will show you the next steps. And yeah, lots and lots of apples. Apple picking season in New Hampshire. It's great. And we got some beautiful McIntosh and different varieties of apples. I've been making all sorts of apple things. And I will have some more videos for you to show you all the delicious things I'm making. So let me get chopping my crab apples. My apples are all chopped. You can see that. I have about a quarter of an orange. I just, it was actually a frozen orange that I had, and so I just, instead of slicing it, I just quartered it and I cut it in half again and put that in there. It's really just for flavor. I'll pull that out after. And I just added 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and about half a cup of water. And I've got a cup and a half. So I ended up with about 6 cups of chopped apples. So I have about a cup and a half of sugar. Put this here. And so I've got that all in the pot, and I'm going to turn it on. And we want that sugar to start to melt and dissolve in, and then the apples are gonna cook. And in the meantime, I have my pot here. I'm gonna can this once it's done. So I have my water bath canner. This is the pot that I use. And I'm gonna get some jars so I can have them sterilized and ready to go while this starts to cook, so that once it's done, I can put it in the jars hot and get it in the water bath canner. So I will be right back. All right, guys. The jam took a little longer than I expected. And it's more like an applesauce. It's pretty thick, but it's got a really good taste, and I'm gonna can it up. So I've sterilized 6 jars. They're pretty hot because they just came out. But you want the jars to be hot and sterilized. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to do this so that you can see. Let me see if I can move this a little closer. Is I'm going to use my funnel and fill the jars. I have no idea how many I'm gonna fill. My water bath is simmering over there. Okay, so it actually ended up to be 4. There was not enough to do another full jar, so I just filled these a little more. I have a little tiny left over, but that's okay. So what you want to do is put your tops on, hand tighten them, and actually this is good because 4 fits really well in my canning pot. And in 15 minutes, this will be done. So you just want to hand tighten them. And I'm going to take the top off this pot, which is really hot. And you want it to be a rolling boil. And just check, make sure these are on. And I'm going to pop them in for 15 minutes. Show you there. Just putting them in the pot. I use this grabber, it's really handy. And there's a mat in the bottom of the pot. You always want to make sure that you have a mat or a towel or something in there. And put the cover back on and let them boil away for 15 minutes. And I'll come back and show you. I just took my jars out. I'm going to show you. They look really good. They're super hot when they come out of the canner. And they cook some more when they're in there because obviously they're in boiling water, and it's going to sit. You let them sit for 24 hours, and then you want to check to make sure that the flat lid underneath is sealed tight. So after 24 hours, you can take the rings off and just check it and make sure. And then I label them and I stick them in a cabinet. I've been doing a bit of canning. I have some pears canned. I have, I made some, I canned some cabbage earlier that I have back here that's sitting till tomorrow as well. And this, and I've got some more apples that I'm probably gonna do, and I've got some green tomatoes. I'm gonna do some more canning. It's a great way to store food at room temperature, not have to worry about the freezer in case you were to lose power, and just to prepare. We're living in some crazy times, so I've been really working on preparing and making sure that I have some good food stocked up, and things like this that are shelf stable. I mean, I know it's jam, so it's not like you're gonna, but if you're really hungry, you can pull it out and you can just eat it, right? It's food. So I was hopeful that I was gonna have more red tomatoes from my garden so that I could do some tomatoes, crushed tomatoes for sauce or stews or whatever. But green tomatoes are gonna work. So I'll make either some relish or can up some green tomatoes. And I don't have a pressure canner, I just water bath can, but I've been able to water bath can quite a bit of food that will keep us going for a while. I'm also stocking up on things like flour and baking supplies and just kind of my regular old, you know, pantry, all my pantry staples to make sure that I have stuff. I do have some meat in the freezer, but I have a backup plan if we should lose power for too long. I know that I can water bath can meat. It just takes a long time, but you can do it. And I'm thinking about actually getting a big turkey pot with a propane burner so I could do that outside and if need be. And you could do chili that way. You could do all sorts of things. If you have a pressure canner, you could do that as well. Canning is a great way to prepare for whatever life might throw our way. And this year is 2024. We're in October. The first week of October has been crazy. We have no idea what's coming our way, but we know that things are not great. And I'm expecting the rest of this month to be crazy and into November and maybe even into next year. We just don't know. So preparing is a really good thing. So that being said, I have a preparing toolkit that I've been working on, and it's up and ready in my my website. And there's a link below if you want to check out first. I have a checklist if you want to check that out first, just to see if you're on the right track. But the toolkit is a little more in depth, and it's stocked with lots of recipes and videos and tips and how-tos. I go in depth into canning a little bit more and lots of recipes. Like, for example, if you've been stocking up and you've got all this rice and beans, that's great. But what do you do with all that rice and beans? And how do you stretch it if you need to? So I've got recipes and tips and preparing your heart and your home, because it starts with our heart and it starts with the Lord, right? And we need to get right with Him and make sure that we are trusting Him and praying every day, reading His Word. So there's a whole section on that, and then there's a section on natural solutions and plants that you can eat and plants that you can use as medicine, and essential oils and all the natural solutions that you can have ready at your fingertips in case you need them. So if you want to check that out, the link is below. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. God bless, and I'll see you all soon.